right, I needed a table saw insert, so this is my experience in getting that done. All right, I downloaded a table saw insert here the other day. It's been a while back, I guess, and the file had some other stuff in it that was pretty unique to it, and I didn't really need them for my saw, and so I removed those components. But this is what I ended up coming up with for my Delta contractor saw. It's a saw I bought from Lowe's, so 12, 14, 16 years ago. And anyway, this plate fits that saw, and the dimensions of it, and the finger hole, and then the little mounting brackets in there. So I went out and I made a couple of these yesterday, and they came out just perfect. They fit in there perfectly. Just basically after you cut this out, you just go over and sand it on the machine, and on the your sanding machine, and just clean up the edges, clean up the faces, and it'll pretty much will just drop in. It's snug, but it fits in there just fine. You could probably sand it a little bit more if you wanted to get it to where it comes out a little easier. But anyway, what I ended up doing was the I put in screws in here, and let's go ahead and just look at this thing on a preview. And this is a reset preview, all to a pass, so you can kind of see what this looks like. Anyway, I used a little panhead, self-tapping panhead screw. It had a little round top on it. The material is right at ½ inch full in thickness. And anyway, so what I did is I put a pocket down in there, so I wouldn't need to use my Forstner bit. And then in the very center of it, I would drill like basically a hole that would fit the panhead screw. And they were self-tapper, so I'd probably just go with a little smaller, then let the self-tapper drill its own hole. And when when you're using your table saw, um, all you need is these screws to bring these edges up here, and these edges up here flush. And it's not, it's if it's much more than 64th or 2/64ths of an inch in difference, your saw will get hung up there. So your blade, and so you want something that can bring that up. And of course, my table has these little wings, and those tables has these little wings in there with the screws to sit on there. So anyway, that worked out good. I, milled it out. It worked out good. I did a pocket there. Then I did my finger hole for that, and then of course cut out the profile, and then I used just a laser cut to make sure that it was going to fit. I just basically went over the material real lightly with a laser and just etched it along the line top of the board and said, okay, yeah, that's going to fit. And so I did that first, and then I cut into my stock. And of course, I'll just use my junk stock to do that, and set up on the centers. So it kind of centers it into the middle of it. And I had a piece of material that was, not quite the full width of this board, but I was able to move it over and then jig the center over just a hair on the shark to get it to go. But anyway, that's kind of that thing, and give me a 0 clearance on there, and that worked out good. So if you need the file, holler.
Well, I thought, I need to have a table saw insert, and I needed something that was really close to that. So I found a piece of plywood that was really close. I thought it might be a little bit tall, and of course it's it says ½ inch, but it was just a hair above ½ inch. Anyway, after I loaded it up into a spire and cut it around, got it all to fit just fine. We got that good. Then I had it drill holes for these, which was a mistake. I should have just used a 1/8 inch bit and drilled them, and maybe just put laser. I'll go back and edit that out so I don't make that mistake again. But anyway, I re-drilled the holes, glued in a 1/4 inch glue so that it would have a good hole, and then I screwed it down and countersinked the hole, and then I sanded the heads off of it that were just a little bit round. As you can see, they're just a round screw, but they keep that from rocking, and it's real close, very, very close. I mean, you can't feel it when you run across the board across it. So that's good, and that worked. So I made an extra one, and then I have the tap file. So there you go. We're set to go.